Hitting them with the Birdman on this Thursday morning. What y'all up to? How y'all feeling? Hot Stakes Takes back with another one on this Thursday. Hey, caught it perfect. Feeling good, bro. Yo, I love when I wake up. Dew on the grass, crispy mornings. You already know what time it is. It's that fall season. Sports about to get into full swing. Hockey, basketball, football, college football, Champions League, Europa League, league play, all soccer leagues, MLS games. It's lit. It's a lit time of year. So I cannot wait. On this show, you already know we got Europa League locks for y'all. We got the Thursday night game, and we want to chop it up about yesterday a little bit. 7 out of 11 picks right. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Sevilla blew it. Dominated that game versus Wolfsburg. Hell of a goal from Wolfsburg, but scoring that penalty at the end for Sevilla, Papu Gomez sent a cross in, bruh, off the post and off the inside of the post where it backed will bounce across the goal line. Bruh. That's how it goes sometimes. That shit's crazy. So close. Yesterday, Atlanta United, sneaky 1-0 victory on a penalty. They should have won by more. We did say if Josef Martinez was in there, we were taking a -1.5 and the over 2.5. Didn't quite play out that way. The way the cards were dealt, not in a favor. But ended it, New England Revs, if you got them in early, ended up winning, 4-1 on the road versus Montreal? Come on. And it hit the over 2.5. Well, it actually hit the over 3.5. We got dogs out there wilding. Somebody shut that fucking dog up. Shut the fuck up. Damn, bro. We got 2 new neighbors, right? Both got dogs. Both just barking like a motherfucker. That's how it goes. Cooking on this Thursday. But ended 7 out of 11 picks right. And we put out so many picks. Obviously, we ain't fucking Nostradamus with it. So we're going to get some shit wrong. But as long as you cipher through, you hear some of the stats that I give out, you're like, maybe I'm not too confident about that one. Stay away from it. The ones that you are, like Bayern Munich yesterday, 5-0 victory. Called them covering the -2.5 spread and the over 3.5. Let's fucking go. So, kicking off, we got Europa League locks. Shout out to the folks rocking with the pod. Shout out Joe in the comments. You already know that builds the algorithm. I don't even know what algorithm means or what it does, but I know it builds the algorithm. I know it builds it. Shout out Al Gore. So, and one last thing before we kick off the show. You already know what day it is. I want to give a shout out to my sister. It's her birthday today. Another year, another blessed year, right? Wake up in the morning, blessed. And then it's your birthday. Another year to keep grinding, get more money, and do whatever the fuck that you think is going to push you to the top tier, right? Keep grinding. And I love that. She's going to have a blessed birthday. And shout out to S Moons. So let's get into it. We're going to go through this kind of swiftly. Shout out DeAndre Swift. And we got a couple locks at 12:45. 4 locks on the 3 o'clock slate. So let's go through this. We got Lyon versus Brøndby. Lyon, -450 favorites. Beat Rangers 2-0 on the road in the last Europa League game. Brøndby, on the other hand, drew 0-0 at home versus Spartak Prague in the last Europa League game. And they haven't won an away game this year. So, if we go over here, looking at Lyon, Still ended up tying. And that was part of the little two-team move we ended up with Usyk. Because you read the game, even though they got red carded early, I think within like 15 minutes, they were still dominating that game. Down a man. So, hopefully, there ain't no red cards. Oh yeah, and another one yesterday was Zenit. We seen those odds shifting live, straight on the pod. We said Zenit, hell of a play. They weren't one of our locks. Ended up winning 4-0. Granted, because of a red card for the other team. But you see how the red cards could kill you. Things could go downhill fast. So, we got Brøndby. Granted, they won their last game in the Danish league. But haven't won an away game this year. We're locking in Lyon, minus 450. Send it. The next lock we got at 12:45. We got Napoli at home versus Spartak Moscow. Now, Napoli minus 600 favorites, and they drew 2-2 versus Leicester. And Leicester ended up picking up a red card, so Napoli came back and tied that game. But didn't play the best. They played on the road in that game, so I think this game, being a home game, not really having too many injuries. You see Spartak Moscow, they got some big players injured. I'm thinking Spartak on the road, they just lost in their last Europa League game 1-0 to Lazio. And only 2 total goals in their last 5 away games. Come on. They have no chance versus Napoli. It just always gets tough. Like, if you're not Bayern, Munich, or Liverpool, I'm probably never going to take you minus 2.5. Even though Napoli is favored by minus 600, they are on the handicap bet at minus 2.5. That's probably going to shift. So I'll stay away from it. It's not the craziest. It's a little obvious pick, but I'm going to take Napoli minus 600 on the money line. Those are the 2 games at 12:45. Now let's get into the 3 o'clock games. We got Celtic plus 275 at home. Let me just make sure. 275, yeah. See, that'll probably change because Leverkusen playing out of their mind. They're coming off 2-1 victory versus Ferencváros in their last Europa League game. The over-under on this game is 2.5, which is insane. I think it's guaranteed to hit. And with Leverkusen being such a close, like barely a favorite at minus 109, you know those odds, those are iffy, especially when you get like a 109 or 108, something fishy like that. You know, I like minus 110 or just give me minus 105. Once you start getting into those weird numbers in between, it's sketchy. So I'm going to take Leverkusen minus 0.5 plus the over 2.5 in this game. Send it. Leverkusen been playing out of their mind lately. So I think them going on the road, especially versus a Celtic team who let up 4 goals at Real Betis in the last Europa League game. Granted, they did score 3, ended up losing 4-3. But versus the Leverkusen team, I think it might be tough to score against them. They might get 1, but Leverkusen, they've been locked in. And Florian Wirtz, absolute monster. Go check that out. They're missing Tapsoba. And, bruh, these injuries, you got to be careful. Because, yo, that Batshuayi was right there. And he ended up playing for Besiktas. So, be a little skeptical where you're looking for injuries, where you're looking for certain things. Because players can make miraculous recoveries. Like random shit. You see it in the NFL. Like how Brady, and it's kind of the opposite. But Brady, saying he was playing with a significant knee injury last year, ended up goating out a fucking another Super Bowl. Absolute monster. The certified GOAT. There ain't no debate. Ain't no debate at this point. Gonna break the NFL record for passing yards. And that's a quick little other thing we'll look at. If you go home, bruh, this thing is so big, they got odds. Oh, little too zoomed in for that one. But they got odds for players to catch the breaking TD pass, like which quarter you could do it in, the yardage of the pass, like bro, that shit's hectic. I mean, you know damn well I'll probably throw out one of those, but to actually like bet it with confidence, that's absolutely insane. You see how Jenny this shit could get. But we're gonna take in this Celtic versus Bayern Leverkusen game, we're taking Leverkusen -0.5 and the over 2.5. Lock it in. Let's fucking go. Let's have a day. The next one we got is Ferencváros +360 versus Real Betis. Now, Real Betis scoring 4 goals versus Celtic. Granted, they were at home, but they've only lost once this year. And their only loss was to Real Madrid, 1-0. So, held them to a low-scoring game. That's why we're going to stay away from the over-under. And with Ferencváros, they lost on the road to Leverkusen in the last Europa League game. I'm going to take Real Betis -140. Lock it in. The next game we got Lazio versus Locomotive Moscow. Now Lazio -320. That's been shifting. They're at least like within like minutes, right? Because we go over here, look at this. Wrote them down -320. They're at least -330 now. They're at the bottom. Bruh. This. See, let me refresh the page quick. Bruh. The site and the app be lying. See? -330. Got them in on my parlay right here. They shifted up, shifted back down. Odds are getting shifty this morning. Shout out all my manual drivers. Bruh, it's hectic. It's Europa League day. Let's fucking go. So, in this game, you got Lazio, not the best performance in their first Europa League game this year. Lost 1-0 at Galatasaray. But you know, on the road, it gets sketchy. And especially when you're traveling to Turkey, playing Galatasaray, those fans get hectic. They probably should have had a better result, but fuck was the coach doing taking out Immobile early? Took him out in like the 54th minute. Absolutely disgusting. Coach is kind of sketching me out, but I think in this game, especially versus a Locomotive Moscow team that drew 1-1 versus Marseille at home in their last Europa League game, and over their past 3 games, have only scored 1 total goal. Granted, their past 2 games, they've kept clean sheets, but haven't scored. So Lazio coming into this game, I think they'll dominate. They have to get a win, right? You're playing in group play. You have to pick up those 3 points. And this is a perfect team to do it against, especially at home. So Europa League game, fans are going to be wilding out there in Italy. So I'm locking in Lazio -320. Send it. And the last lock for the Europa League games, we got West Ham at home versus Rapid Vienna. Now, West Ham -460 favorites. Rapid Vienna +1200 on the money line. Huge favorite. But West Ham has been dominating. Their only loss this year has came at home versus Man United. Lost by 1 goal, 2-1. But their last Europa League game beat Dynamo Zagreb on the road 2-0. And with Rapid Vienna losing their first Europa League game 1-0 at home versus Genk. Now, Genk is a Belgian team. Not too many top teams in that division, in that league, but Rapid Vienna hasn't been playing well as of late. I think they won in their last cup match. Just pull that up quick. They won in their last cup match, but drew at the end of full time. Ended up having to get the winner in extra time. And that was on the road versus a lower tier team in their league. So I'm thinking in this game, especially with Rapid Vienna, you see only 1 goal and I'm not counting that cup match because those things get sketchy, but only 1 goal in their last 5 games, traveling on the road to West Ham. You know West Ham, they could be blowing them bubbles, son. Them bitches gonna be floating across the fucking stadium. It's gonna be big different when it comes to Europa League play. And West Ham, with a home match in Europa League play, their fans gonna go wild. This shit's gonna be a hectic atmosphere over there. I'm locking in West Ham -1.5. Now that's a -150 favorite. We're gonna stay away from the over under 3.5, even though West Ham, if they start their top players, and I don't think they're dealing with too much with injuries yet. Not dealing with any injuries at all besides Fredericks, but he's the one that's been out for a little bit now. Hasn't really factored too much into their play or at all. So I'm locking in West Ham -1.5. Send it. Let's go. Let's go. Europa League locks on the day. Shout out Liverpool. Bruh. For no reason. Just shout out Liverpool. And the Thursday night game, let's get into it. We got Cincinnati at home versus Jacksonville. Cincinnati 2-1 on the year. Jacksonville 0-3. Jacksonville was surprisingly holding Arizona, one of the most prolific offenses in the league this year. Held them to 17 points. It was up 19-17 before that rookie, we'll call it a rookie mistake, right? Off the back foot. You got Urban Meyer calling a fucking flea flicker. Duck, what are you doing? Run the ball. You got Carlos Hyde and you got James Robinson. James Robinson averaging 5.1 per carry, only has 30 rushes through 3 games. You gotta feed that man the ball. Last year, put a stack up out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, one of the top waiver pickups last year. And then you hardly run him. You have a rookie quarterback. You need to get that ground game going, right? The fuck? So, Cincinnati coming off that big win at Pittsburgh. Beat them 24-10. They were saying that score doesn't really reflect how that game went. Cincinnati dominated one of our biggest defensive pickups over the past couple weeks. And surprisingly, they're leading the AFC North. Like, what? You have Steelers, you got the Browns, and you got the Ravens in that division. How are you leading that? That's insane. So, shout out Joey B. And I'm talking about Joe. Somebody go check on that man after yesterday. He hit me with a quick call. I ain't gonna give too many details, but I know that man will be back. He been balling as of late. Shout out that boy. And Jamar Chase, 4 tutties already this year. 2 in the last game. One of our DFS plays. That shit. Let's go. Let's go. All them drop issues that he had. Come on. Little preseason ain't nothing, huh? Back out there balling, just catching shit with the fingertips. So, I'm thinking in this game, you got 73% of the money going in on Cincinnati to cover the 7.5 spread. I think it's going to get sketchy. Jacksonville, they did play well versus Arizona and lost 31-17. But you could take 7 of those points away with that pick 6. The defense did not give that up. And they played well. Granted, it was at home. They are now traveling to Paul Brown Stadium. Nah. Is it Paul Brown or James Brown? James Brown. It's definitely not James Brown. Shout out Paulie B. Yeah, facts. Paul Brown Stadium. Traveling over there to Cincy. It's not going to be fun. Them Cincinnati fans are going to be going crazy. And shout out Alex Geiger. AG over there. That boy. I haven't seen him in a grip probably since high school. But I always know you never forget those fans of those like weird teams, right? Because I was a Carolina fan. And bruh, he's always been a Bengals fan. Since Chad Ocho and TJ Hujmanzadis. Them boys out there balling. They had Carson Palmy. Shout out Arnold Palmer with a little fucking golf swing. But he's been a Cincinnati fan for a grip. That shit's dope. Hopefully they continue to ball. Second year quarterback after that crazy injury last year. Back out there balling. Doesn't even care. I even seen him run the rock and not slide. So that means that need doing well, man. He's fully confident on that. So in this game, it's kind of sketchy with them being at -7.5. I think the Jaguars will play well. And you got the money line at -350. Now, with the over-under at 46, I think both defenses are going to play well. I mean, not necessarily Jacksonville's going to play well, but well enough to hold them to, what, maybe 30? Maybe 4 tutties and a field goal. That's probably their max potential for this game. And with Jacksonville, rookie quarterback, you have, we were talking about how if a quarterback's in toes goes to a -1.5 favorite, that shit would be hectic. We never thought we'd see it. But with rookie quarterbacks, as you can see now, Trev Lawrence, 7 picks on the year so far. His over-under is now at 1.5. Now, last week versus Denver, Zach Wilson, and we forgot, it was one of those things we forgot to throw out there on the pod, but Zach Wilson, bruh, how the fuck did his over-under shift to 1.5 and it hit? And it hit. He threw 2 picks versus Denver on the road last week. Now in this game, Trev Lawrence, I don't think is going to hit. We're probably going to stay away from that one. But with the Bengals at home, it's going to get tough to cover that 7.5 spread. I want to rock with it, right? But shit. If you throw a little parlay, Bengals in the under. Now, I think the under is guaranteed to hit. So, we've been debating this one, and now we're debating it live on a pod. But Bengals hit them with a damn. Fuck, man. I don't know. I don't know. This one's going to get sketchy. I think Jacksonville will cover Trev Lawrence. It's one of those games where so much money is on Cincinnati that I think Jacksonville will cover. So we're going to take the Bengals -350, and we're going to take the under. If you parlay that, you get some good odds, +145. Those are my 2 locks for the Thursday night game. Those Thursday night games get kind of sketchy. You got a short week. Cincinnati coming off that tough game, which, yeah, they dominated Pittsburgh, but it's always a tough game when you're playing in division. So, short week, tough divisional game last week, hard-nosed, hard-hitting game. I'm thinking Bengals -350, and I'm going to take the under 46. Let's fucking go. Thursday night, back cooking with another one. Shit's been hectic. Shit's been, let it rock. Shit's been hectic. Shit's just cooking. But, and the last thing we want to end off with, I don't think we touched on it yet, but CJ Henderson, Panthers went out there, said, fuck Richard Sherman, right? They brought him in. Richard Sherman, older corner, but I think he still got some game left. He just signed with Tampa Bay. That's a solid pickup for them. And especially going into a week where they're playing Mac Jones and the Patriots on the road in Tom Brady's return to Foxborough or Gillette. That's the game to watch of the week. Like, if you miss that, you better be watching your home team and having Tampa Bay versus the Pats just on another screen, your phone, wherever you could get it on, picture, whatever you do, make sure you watch that shit, because that's going to be a spectacle, I'll tell you that one. So, Panthers with that big pickup, CJ Henderson, rookie first-round pick by the Jags, I think last year. Bruh, we traded Dan Arnold because Tremble's been playing out of his mind, the rookie out of Notre Dame. And you just lost JC Horn. Tough, man. Tough. Broken foot. That boy, he'll be back better than ever for sure. So, filled a little need, but hopefully with CJ Henderson, he's going to be an absolute monster. He's rocking that number 15. I don't know who the last person to rock 15 was. What is it? Fucking Bart Starr. But hell of a pickup, dead ass. I think they traded a 3rd round pick and Arnold for him. Not too bad. 3rd round pick's kind of high, especially for a corner they were trying to get rid of anyway. But you go make the move, you go pay the price, you see how it works out. So that's the show. Back cooking with another one on this Thursday. So let's have a fucking day. Y'all stay blessed. And let's shout out JB on the beat. Turn that up for me one time. Ayy. 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 Let's go.